Good day, everyone. For today, we will start our first lesson in statistics, which is all about the basic terms in statistics. So, what is our objectives for today? First is we will differentiate statistic and statistics with S and without S. Second, we will describe the two branches of statistics. Third, we will identify the fundamental elements of statistics. Fourth, population versus the sample, and the parameter versus the statistic. And last one will be the quantitative versus the qualitative, and the discrete versus the continuous. So, let's start with the statistic versus the statistic. So, are they the same? So, let's see. First, in singular form, we have the statistic without S. It is a single measure of some attribute of a sample. So, when we say attribute, it is a characteristic. So, ano ang mini-measure ni statistic? Yung characteristic lamang ng sample. And then, in plural form, which is the statistics, we have the study of the collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of the data. So, do you think they are the same? Of course, they are not the same. So, as you can see po, in the definition, C, statistic without S only focuses on the measure of the characteristics of a sample, while statistics is our subject itself, which is the branch of mathematics that deals with the scientific collection, organization, presentation, analysis, and interpretation of numerical data in order to obtain useful and meaningful information. So, kapag pinag-uusapan si statistics, all you have to remember is the word copy. What do we mean by copy? So, in statistics, we need to collect, we need to organize, we need to present, we will analyze, and last is we will interpret. So, that is copy. Next is to fully understand the definition of our subject or statistics, let us explore more about how statistics work. Paano nga ba talaga nagwo-work si statistics? So let's have this problem. So you are requested by your math teacher to go to the National Statistics Office, or also known as NSO, and get a copy of the population data of the Philippines from January 2006 to December 2014. So, ano po yung pinapakuha sa'yo? The population data ng Pilipinas simula ng 2006 hanggang 2014. Next, you are required to produce a comprehensive report. So when we say comprehensive, a detailed report about the said topic. How will you go about preparing the report to your math teacher within the specified period? So let's apply the statistics, which is the copy. First is, of course, you need to collect or you need to gather data. And after you collect the data, you will organize it. So we are done with C and O. Collect and organize. So we have here the year starting from 2006 up to 2014, and in the right side we have the population in the Philippines. And the question will be, how will you get your data? So, paano ba natin makukuha yung data natin? We can use survey, questionnaire, research-based, interview, etc. So, kinolect natin yung data and inorganize natin siya. Kaya nilagay natin siya sa table. Sunod-sunod na from 2006 to 2014. So, next will be after we collect and after we organize our data, of course, we need to, the third one, we will present our data. So, we present our data through bar graph. So, sa ilalim, nandiyan yung mga year, and then sa left side is the population. And then, yung mga nakuha nating data, pinresent natin siya by using the bar graph. Okay? So, we collect, we organize, we present. Next will be, of course, we will analyze. Okay, so when we say analysis of data, we need to identify and observe the trend or pattern of the data. So balikan natin yung ating graph. Question is, what can you observe on the pattern of the data? O ano na-observe natin from 2006 up to 2014? Ano yung pattern ng ating data. Yan. So, after natin mag-analyze, last will be, we need to interpret. So, interpretation of data, or you draw conclusions, or you make decisions from the data, making the numerical data or numbers speak. So, what will be our interpretation? First is, based on the data patterns, as you can see in our bar graph, the population of the country will increase rapidly. So, every year, tumataas, mabilis, tumaas ang population ng Pilipinas. The second interpretation will be, if the populace would be productive, pag naging productive daw yung population na meron sa Pilipinas or yung mga tao sa Pilipinas, then kahit mag-increase yung population natin, hindi yun makakapag-prevent ng pag-develop ng ating ekonomiya. Okay? And that is how statistics work. Again, we have kapay. We need to collect, we need to organize, we need to present, we need to analyze, and last, we need to interpret. Okay, next, since we are done the definition of statistics, let's have the two branches of statistics. So first, we have the descriptive statistics. So what do we mean by descriptive statistics? It is a statistical method concerned with the collection, organization, presentation, and description of sample data by using tables, graphs, and summaries measures or average without. So, naka-highlight yung without, drawing conclusions or inferences about a larger set. So, in descriptive statistics, all you have to do is to collect, you will organize, and you will present the data. That's it. Walang conclusion, hindi ka nag-conclude, hindi ka nag-predict, wala kang ginawang inferences. Okay? Kinuha mo lang yung data, inorganize mo siya, pinresent mo siya, and that's it. Okay? Walang conclusion or walang prediction na ginawa. Example, the NSO conducts survey to determine the average age, income, and other characteristics of the Filipino people. O ano daw ang gustong gawin ng NSO? Magko-conduct sila ng survey para lang ma-determine yung average age, income, and other characteristics ng Filipino people. Pero wala silang kinunclude na kapag ganito pala yung age o kapag ganito pala yung income, ang gusto lang nilang makuha is the average. That's why it is a descriptive statistics. Second one, we have the inferential statistics. Pag sinabi namang inferential, from the word itself, you use inferences. So these are methods concerned with making predictions or inferences about a larger set of data using only the information gathered from a subset of this larger set. So in the inferential, after you collect, after you gather, after you organize the data, you conclude, you predict. Nape-predict mo kung based sa data na kinuha mo, nag-predict ka na ganito pala o ganyan pala. After mo makuha yung data. Basta nagkaroon ka na ng conclusion, nagkaroon ka na ng prediction, nag-assume ka na ganito yung mangyayari based doon sa data na iyong nakuha. Let's have this example. The number of internet devices in 1984 was 1,000. In 1992, it became 1 million. And in 2008, 1 billion. What can you predict from this data? As you can see, the question is, what can you predict? So, as you can see, from 1984 up to 2008, padami ng padami yung internet devices. So, meaning, padami rin ng padami ang users. At yun yung na-predict mo, yun yung conclusion mo. That's why it is inferential statistics. Kasi nag-conclude ka na out doon sa data na iyong nakuha. Pero kapag kinuha mo lang yung data, walang conclusion na nagawa or ginawa, that is descriptive. Okay? So, let's have math drills. So, in this math drills, you need to identify whether each situation illustrates descriptive, big letter D, or inferential, big letter I, statistics. So, let's start. Number 1, the average price of houses in Laguna. Ano lang ang gustong kunin dito sa number 1? Gusto lang niya kunin yung average. May conclusion bang nagawa or ginawa? Wala. So, it is descriptive. Next, number 2. A bowler wants to estimate his chance of winning a game based on his current season average and the average of his opponents. Ayan, ang bowler daw, gusto niyang i-estimate yung chance niyang manalo dun sa game at binase niya yon doon sa average ng current season at average ng kanyang opponent. Ano yung ginamit na word? Estimate his chance of winning. So, ibig sabihin, estimation, prediction, that is inferential. Next, number 3. The guard in the SM Mega Mall records the number of shoppers for the past 15 days. Anong ginawa ng guard? Nag-record lang siya ng number ng shoppers. May ginawa ba siyang conclusion or prediction? Wala. Ni-record niya lang. So, meaning still that is a descriptive statistics. Next, number 4. A politician wants to know the exact number of votes he received in the last election. So, gusto niya lang malaman yung exact number ng votes na na-receive niya nung last election. Meron ba siyang na-conclude? Wala. Gusto niya lang malaman. So, meaning, still, that is descriptive statistics. And last one, a teacher gave a student a failing grade of 70% due to low scores. O, sige nga, tingnan nga natin to. Descriptive ba to o inferential? Ayan. So, as you can see po, ayan, tama naman siguro yung mga iniisip nyo. That is inferential. Kasi, di ba, we collect data, we collect your scores, ayan, we check your papers. After that, since nakita namin mabababa yung scores nyo, of course, ano naging conclusion namin? O, anong naging conclusion ni teacher? Nagbigay siya kay student ng failing grade, which is 70%. Dahil nga, mabababa yung kanyang mga score. So, nagkaroon na ng conclusion. That's why it is inferential. Okay? Next. Let's have the population versus the sample. As you can see in the illustration, the population and then the sample. Let's have example. Let's say all grade 11 students in UCC, that is your population. And then when we say sample, let's say you select, in every section, you only select 5 students. And that is the sample. Okay, let's have the definition of the population. It is the totality of all the elements or persons for which one has an interest at a particular time. It is denoted by big letter N. Pag sinabing population, total, lahat, kabuuan. Okay? Totality. Example, the faculty members of the UCC Senior High School. So, yung mga teacher daw sa UCC, sa Senior High School, that is a population. Pero pag sinabi mo lang na one selected teacher in every department, let's say, isa sa math, isa sa English, isa lang sa science, then that is a sample. Okay? Next, the athletes of UCC. So, lahat ng atleta ng UCC. But if you are specific, if it is basketball lang, yan, that is a sample. Kumuha ka lang ng yung volleyball player lang, that is a sample. And the Facebook users worldwide. O, ibig sabihin, nandiyan na yung worldwide na word. Ibig sabihin, napakadami, lahat. So, that is a population. Okay, next. How about sample? So, when we say sample, it is a subset of a population. O pag sinabing subset, parte siya ng population. Ibig sabihin, siya na yung napili mo. Siya na yung pinili natin sa population. Sila na yung na-select, sila na yung mga nakuha natin out doon sa napakaraming population. And it is denoted by small letter N. O, example, selected students from grade 8. O, may word na dyan na selected. Ibig sabihin, mga napili na. Selected employees in a company. And then, kapag naging specific sila sa number, then that is also a sample. Okay? 10 selected babies born in India every day. Kasi ibig sabihin, yun na yung kanilang mga napili. Okay, let's have another math drills. So, in these math drills, we will identify whether each statement refers to a population, big letter P, or a sample, big letter S. Number 1, a group of 25 students selected to test a new teaching technique. What is the keyword? We have the word selected, that's why it is a sample. Next, number 2, the total machines produced by a factory in 1 week. What is the keyword? We have the word total. So, that is a population. Number 3, the yearly expenditure on food for 10 families. Naging specific siya sa number of families. That's why it is a sample. Ibig sabihin sila na yung mga napili. Number 4, all legal immigrants of Canada. What is the keyword? We have the word all, lahat, buo. That's why it is a population. And last one, monthly food budget of 30 families in Manila. So same, naging specific siya sa number of families. That's why it is a sample. Again, when we say population, it is the totality and buo, kabuuan. And when we say sample, it is the subset of the population. Meaning, ito na yung mga napili o mga na-select natin out doon sa ating population. Okay? Next, let's have the parameter versus the statistic. So, when we say parameter, any statistical information or attribute, again, when we say attribute, characteristic, taken from a population. So, ang tatandaan natin dyan, 2P. So, kapag pinag-uusapan si parameter, yun yung mga karakteristik na nakuha natin from the population. Parameter, population. Okay, next. When we say statistic naman, any estimate of statistical attributes, saan naman sila nakuha? Taken from a sample. So, anong tatandaan natin doon? 2S. So, saan nakuha si statistic? Sa sample. Statistic, sample. Next, let's have another term. Under the statistics, we have the variable. So when we say variable, it is a characteristic or attribute of a persons or objects which can assume different values or labels for different persons or objects under consideration. So in your research subject, let's say magsisurvey na kayo, di ba ano ba yung kailangan nyo i-survey? Ano yung mga gusto nyong kunin sa respondents nyo? Kukunin yung name, kukunin yung section, kukunin yung age, kukunin yung, let's say, address, kukunin yung religion. Basta kung ano man ang related dun sa inyong research. Ngayon, yung mga kinuha nyo yun, ang tawag doon, variable. Okay? Lahat ng mga details, lahat ng mga gusto nyong kunin sa inyong respondents, ang tawag doon, variable. And then, of course, lahat ng mga sagot ng iyong respondents, nagsagot na sila sa name, nagsagot na sila sa age, lahat, sinagutan nila. Yung mga nakuha nyong yon out doon sa inyong respondents, ang tawag naman doon, data. Okay? It is a collection of observable information or facts, and it is presented, collected, and analyzed, either numeric or non-numeric, and must be contextualized. Okay? Yung mga nakuha nyong information, ang tawag doon, data. And then yung mga kukunin nyo sa kanilang information, ang tawag doon, variable. Okay, so under the variable po, we have two types of data. We have the qualitative versus the quantitative. So let's have the qualitative. When say qualitative data, from the word qualitative, quality. Variables expressed as categorical attributes. So meaning, we only categorize the characteristics such as sex. It can be male or female. Let's say religion. Part ng research mo or nung survey mo, yung religion, ika-categorize mo na lang ano ba yung mga religion natin. We have Roman Catholic, we have INC, we have Christian, we have born again, and so on and so forth. So, kinang-categorize lang po natin yung characteristic. How about marital status? Kung isasama nyo siya sa inyong survey, kakategorize nyo na lang siya. Pwedeng single, pwedeng married, pwedeng widowed, pwedeng separated. And then region of residence, highest educational attainment. Basta ang tatandaan nyo sa qualitative, kinakategorize nyo lang yung characteristic. Okay? Next. Quantitative data. So, pag sinabi naman quantitative, from the word quantitative, we have quantity. Otherwise called numerical data, whose sizes are meaningful, answer questions such as how much or how many, quantitative variables have actual units of measure. So, meaning, kung ilalagay nyo sa data nyo na ang isasagot nila is kailangan mo na nilang mag-count or kailangan mo na nilang mag-measure, then that is quantitative. Ang tatandaan sa quantitative, it is a numerical data. Pero hindi naman lahat ng numerical data. For example, your LRN, no, number siya. Pero under pa rin siya ng qualitative data since ano po ba yung LRN? Kapag sabing LRN, yung LRN nyo mismo, sa inyo lang yun. Kapag tinype yung LRN nyo, kaninang info lang ang lalabas, sa inyo pa din. Okay? So, parang nagiging characteristics niya na rin siya. Kaya, pasok pa rin siya sa qualitative data. Pag quantitative po, before mag-answer si respondents, either magka-count muna siya or magme-measure muna siya. Okay? Sige nga, let's have math drills. So, we need to classify the following as qualitative or quantitative. So, big QL or QN. Number 1, net weight in grams of a package cereal. Okay. Ayan. So, we have weight. When we say weight, we need to measure. That's why it is QN. Okay? Number 2, we have brand of personal computer use. O ano-ano ba yung mga brand ng PC natin na ginagamit? Pwede lang natin i-categorize yun. That's why it is a qualitative data. Number 3, the amount of money spent on clothing last month. O yung amount daw ng pera na nagastos sa clothing last month. So that is, ayan, you need to count. Kasi kailangan mong magbilang, that is quantitative. Number 4, the number of local calls made per month. Ayan, kung ilan daw yung local calls na nagagawa per month. So, kailangan din bilangin. That's why it is a quantitative data. And last will be the primary type of transportation used by students. Ano-ano ba yung ways of transport nyo papunta sa school? You can ride a jeepney, a bus, a tricycle, so we can categorize it. That's why it is a qualitative data. Okay? And of course, under ni quantitative data po, we have another two types. Diba? Sabi natin, variable. We have two types of variable, the qualitative data and the quantitative data. And another types of quantitative data, we have discrete versus the continuous. So let's start with the discrete. When we say discrete, it is a variable that can be obtained by counting. Countable, kaya mong bilangin. Example, number of computers in a laboratory, a number of students under your section, a number of teachers in junior high school. Ayan, so kaya nating i-count. That's why it is a discrete variable. And then, when we say continuous variable, it is a variable that can be obtained by, ayan, ito naman, kailangan mo munang i-measure. Okay? Kapag sabing kaya mong i-count or countable, that is discrete. Kapag kailangan ng measurement, that is continuous. Example, let's have the weight of the students. Ayan. So, before po tayo mag-answer, what is your weight? We need to use measurement. Right? Area of the classroom floor. So, kailangan mo rin munang sukatin since you are solving for the area. So, you need measurement. That's why it is continuous. Okay, so let's have math drills. We will classify if it is discrete or continuous. Number 1, weight of students in private high schools. O basta pinag-uusapan si weight, we need measurement. That's why it is continuous. Number 2, outcome in rolling a pair of dice. So, nag-roll ka daw ng dice. Yung outcome nun, discrete or continuous? Of course, we can count. Countable siya. That's why it is discrete. Number 3, amount of money spent on groceries in a month. Yung amount daw ng pera na nagastos mo. Since that is money, basta pera, kayang-kaya nating bilangin. So, countable ang pera. That's why it is discrete. Number 4, number of persons in a family. Kaya mo naman bilangin ilan ba kayo sa family. That's why it is also discrete. And last, water temperature of 10 rivers in the Philippines on a given day. We are dealing with the temperature, so we need measurement. That's why it is continuous. Okay? Again, we have variables. And then under the variables, we have two types, the qualitative data and the quantitative data. And under the quantitative data, we have another two types, which is the discrete and the continuous. So now, in our last activity, pagsasamahin natin itong dalawang to. Quali-quanti, discrete, continuous. So given po natin dyan ang mga variable, 12 variables. And then, all you have to do is to identify the type of variable, if it is qualitative or quantitative. Now, if your answer is quantitative, you will identify the type of the quantitative variable, if it is discrete or continuous. Okay? So, let's start. We have the class student number. Class student number, itong class student number parang pwede natin halin tulad sa inyong LRN kung saan sa inyo lang mismo yon. Yung class student number na yon, sa inyo lang yon. Hindi pwedeng maging sa katulad sa inyong mga kaklase. So, nagiging characteristic na rin siya sa inyo. So, that's why it is qualitative. Next, sex. Of course, we can categorize the sex. It can be male or female. So, that's why it is qualitative. Number of siblings. Ilan kayong magkakapatid? Of course, since that is quantity, quantitative. And since kaya naman natin siyang i-count, that is discrete. Okay? Next, weight in kilograms. Of course, quantity na naman. So that is quantitative. And we need measurement. So this is continuous. Height. Same with weight. It is quantitative and continuous since we need measurement. Next, age of mother. So, si age po, nakaklasify. Pag kinlassify natin si age, ang magiging sagot natin doon is qualitative. Kasi kinlassify na natin siya. Let's say, senior, 60 and above. So, kinlassify na natin yung age doon. Kaya siya magiging qualitative. But here, since this is age of mother, this is quantitative. And since that is countable, this is discrete. Next, usual daily allowance in school. Same lang din, usual daily food expenditure in school in pesos. Basta pera, quantitative, at kayang bilangin. So, discrete. Pareho. Next, usual number of text messages sent in a day. Number daw ng text messages na nasasend mo sa isang araw. Quantity, so that is quantitative. And, of course, that is discrete since kaya mo siyang i-count. Next, usual sleeping time. Pag usual sleeping time, sa sarili mo mismo yon, iba-iba kayo na magiging answer. Pwede din natin siyang i-categorize, di ba? Kasi, iba-iba kayo ng oras ng pagtulog. So, pwede natin i-categorize yon. That's why it is qualitative. Next, most preferred color. Ano yung favorite color mo? Categorize din natin lahat ng colors. Then, that is qualitative. And last one, happiness index for the day. Pag i-rate ka daw, 1 to 10, gaano ka kasaya ngayong araw? Ayan. So, kakategorize din natin from 1 to 10. So, that's why it is qualitative. Okay? So, do you have any question about our lesson for today? So, if you have any question, then you can leave it in the comment section below. So, thank you so much for watching this video.